What's up, man?
Not a lot. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thanks to you playing those songs. I'm really good. So was this just kind of, I want to start off asking you the question everyone's going to ask you or has already. Like, why now? Was it just like the 15-year thing or?
I have been doing a lot of interviews about doing this album, and I've been trying to come up with a succinct, coherent reason as to why I'm doing it, why I'm doing it now, why I haven't done it before, and I don't really know. To be totally honest.
So it just came to you one day, like, you know what, I'm going to just do these songs?
I guess, I mean, it didn't even come to me. I just started working on it, you know?
Okay.
And then, I mean, the first thing that happened was doing the pledge campaign to get the money. And it was such a massive success with the fans that it really, like, kind of turned it into, you know, somewhat of a rocket ship ride, whereas before it wasn't just me ambling into the studio playing the tune. You know?
Yeah. I mean, what are the songs? I mean, it is, what, 15 years, right?
Something like that.
Give or take? I mean, like, and I told you, like, you know, in between filming these, like, they hold up really damn good.
Thank you.
I mean, they
Thank you
really
very
do.
much.
I mean, I just, you know, I remember listening to the album on I commuted to the city, and I was just, like, playing the shit out of that album constantly. And it's one of those records that never kind of left, but at the same time, like, your solo stuff's really fucking good also.
Thank you very much.
So let me just blow a lot of smoke your way before I ask a question. No, but the interesting thing that I find with you, and like a lot of artists who kind of come from a band past or whatever, you're kind of running from it a little bit, right? Like, because you want to spend all these years kind of as your own artist.
If you want to continue to be a vital artist, creating vital work at all parts of your life, there's an extent to which you have to disappoint people. And so I was just very adamant about playing the music I've written in this century, and you know, I am so grateful to have an audience that you know, not just because of my obstinacy, listens to the new stuff. And if I'm getting emails of people that are like, so you're not going to play 27 Jennifers on this tour? No, sorry, you know. So that it's you know, it's a problem I will have no matter what I'm playing. But I think I would not. I think the experience of really reinterpreting these songs, really doing something different with them, is deeply enriched by the fact that I have an audience that's used to me, you know, throwing them curveballs. So, I mean, it would be a very different experience without the audience that I have.
What about for you? Like, just, you know, going back to the studio and reworking these songs that you've, you know, lived with for so long, but, you know, maybe they're not on heavy rotation in your mind anyway.
Well, you know, when you get into the studio, the songs are just songs. And so there's not a lot of association involved when I'm sitting down with Good Goose, who's this kid, really, he's a hip-hop producer guy, who was my collaborator on this. And Catherine Popper plays the upright bass, and really it's the three of us that made the album. You know, in the studio, it's just sort of all about the flow between the collaborators, and, you know, in terms of what we were thinking about on a day-to-day level. I mean, I think there was a song that...
Don't mind me, I'm just turning the lights off mid-sentence.
I think there was a song that Catherine was like, oh, I didn't know this was a soul hopping song. I was like, no, it was a soul hopping song. I think that is the extent to which we talked about the past. And then there were occasions on which I would really try to make it sound very not like soul coughing. And, you know, like there was, you know, Catherine would be playing certain ways. I mean, everything on the album is something that I wrote, you know. So if it's something that came from Soul Coughing, it's something that I wrote in Soul Coughing. And if it's something that was a product of the band's process, I wrote something new for it. Excuse me. And there was a certain extent to which I had to really sort of pick out the references. And so there were a couple occasions where it's like, don't accent that note, Catherine, or, let's use a different kind of snare goose. But they were very subtle moves. And other than that, we just thought about making a dope record. So
yeah. Let me ask you. I mean, now that you've covered your own material, like, do you have any plans to do a cover album maybe down the? Obviously, you're probably going to do the next album be originals, I would think.
Well, my previous album was a covers.
Oh, was it? So let me rewind and do my homework. We'll cut that out, or we'll leave it in it's amateur hour. Well, talk to me about the next album. I mean, are you looking ahead at all? I mean, I know that you just are, promoting this now.
In terms of, what my view of the next thing is, I mean, I'm just trying to keep writing, I write guitar parts every day. I take notes on lyrics every day. I'm doing a lot of work on my my electronic thing, my EDM thing, which I do under the name Dubious Luxury, and I work on it constantly because I can do it in headphones, and it's very sort of like soothing, and it's its own kind of self-contained universe of the laptop and the headphones. But I mean, other than that, sort of the major decisions tend to happen by default, as I think they do for everybody in life, and I slowly learn as I get older to not make decisions to like sort of do the next right thing that's standing in front of me, hopefully continue to do that, and just sort of take it dare I say one day at a time.
Yeah. I mean, you have any plans to write another book?
No plans to write another book. People have talked to me about it. I have ideas for fiction, and I'm reticent to jump into fiction because it's like everybody that I know that has been doing it for 30 years, and I just feel a little awkward sort of jumping in and saying, "Hey, I just started doing this 2 days ago. And here's a novel." But I mean, at the same time, sometimes being naive and being old enough to know that it's okay to be naive, it can be a strategic advantage.
Totally. Last question for you. I know that you're going on the road for a while, so describe to me the main difference. This is like a meatball question I'll throw at you, between touring as a band and just touring as a solo artist. Less bullshit, I would imagine.
No, I mean I'm really lucky to have the people that I'm touring with. Catherine, the upright player, Pete Wilhoit's playing drums. Chuck Redue's my sound guy, has been my sound guy for years. There's like no drama. There's like one fight per tour, generally, between me and Chuck, and it's usually because of the bus kitchen. There's too much detritus from making coffee that I've left around, and that's about once every tour at about the 3.5 week mark. We have that fight.
Right.
Other than that, I mean, it's really like, I'm it's like going camping. It's fun, and I get sad when they end. I mean, I just like being on the road in general. I do well on the road, I just sort of, you get your sea legs after a while. And I've been doing this for like 20 years, so I have well-developed sea legs.
But it wasn't always, a fun time on the road, though. I'd imagine with so coughing.
But
sure.
since I got sober, touring has been great. And there's miniature adventures to be had everywhere. You know, I've accumulated more knowledge about the places I'm going to than I ever did before I got sober, you know, because I was just interested in like getting wasted after the
Right.
show, you know.
Right.
Now I know where the restaurants are in every city and the neighborhoods that I like, you know, so it's a much more, it's a very broad experience of seeing the world now, whereas before it was this very sort of small, dark container.
Right. And all a blur, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
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 Cool. Well, gee, we're going out on a really shitty note, but thank you for coming in.
Well, thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks.
All right.